All right. Hey, very, very good morning to you out there. It is I, WJ Warrior Jr. I was listening to this Dale Carnegie audio books. I always put on something um, before I lay down. I like to listen to stuff, preferably stuff like audio books, motivation, success. But I try to have an open mind, like when listening to, looking up different stuff. Um, this will lead me into the topic, but, I realize how important money is. I always have. As somebody that gambled a lot, it really is the lifeblood of your, when I was in action. You can't, they call it ammo. You can't gamble, you can't fight, you can't play without money. But as I continue to move away from that life, which basically was my life for as long as I could remember, I hope that I'm moving away from it. It's I hate to say it's always a struggle, it's always a battle, but no, I feel like as I've gotten older, it's not as big of a deal as it used to be. I used to, and I tried to toward the end. I try to formulate like more of a system, like that, and I don't really need to go over it, but like it's something. It's like borderline cheating in a way, borderline, of course. But the house, they knew what I was doing. I was writing down, keeping track of stuff in a baccarat type style. But this was a different Asian game. But anyway, um, it's if I was a robot, I didn't have any biological needs, like to as far as sitting for prolonged, for days on end, not eating, not drinking. I remember, oh my God, I remember I played one time at the Commerce, like maybe a year ago, and I was so thirsty. Oh my God, I thought I was gonna pass out. It was ridiculous because couldn't have water at the table because of the COVID. It was awful. I remember I just you know I'm just kidding. I'm so happy. Hopefully those types of days are behind me. And it's like, yeah, I got money to survive, basically, but that's about it. And but that's good. As long as I can go to the gym, eat good food, have my supplements. I'm working on my doctorate still, and that's a long. The reason for me that is, I started. Excuse me. Still got some type of taste bud issues. Throat. Throat is not as sore, but still tongue a little. Whatever's going on. I'm hoping that I don't have to go back to the hospital and hopefully wait it out a couple of days. What was I gonna go? What was I gonna mention? My doctoral journey. It wasn't a straight through thing. Basically, I know I talk about this sometimes, but I got my master's when I was 44. I'm 48 now, and I jumped right into doctoral level work, where I earned my educational specialist degree when I was 46, which was doctoral level because those classes transferred into their doctorate program. And I had like a difficult transition because the program was transitioning, and I found other schools that I thought would be easier financially and everything. So, they wouldn't accept all the work I did. So I went there for a year and a half, and then I already talked about this where I got to comprehensive exams after I completed all my coursework, and the trio, they wouldn't pass me. You have like a chair, three guys, and they decide if, or women, whatever. It's a combination of the committee, and I don't like thinking about it because it gets me agitated. I don't need to get upset about things that are in the past I can't control. But luckily, I'm in a program right now. It looks like I can handle, and it's a longer grind, but it's a 6-course deal, 12 weeks each one, and right now I'm finishing just about done with the first one, and second class starts right away. So I plan on grinding for a year and a half. And you know what? It is what it is. Now, I know I used to think, oh, getting a doctorate, it's really, and now I'm seeing, oh my God, there's so many people that have doctorates in education, like they work in community colleges. It's not a big deal. But you know what? It is a big deal for me. It is because, I don't know what else to do with my life. And I gotta be productive. I gotta move forward. And I can't just sit around and wonder what should I do when you could be doing something. Now, just because, I hate when people say, oh, what are you gonna do with it? You know what? Nothing. I'm gonna do nothing with it. How's that? But it's like let me give you an example. It's not a waste of time if you don't do nothing, because at least you're focusing on something positive. And not everything positive is lucrative. That leads me into the subject of, today. What I talk about is it a waste of time chasing things that are not lucrative, for you? But most people say yes, because money is so important. It's like air, but it's not like air. If you don't have air, you're going to die. Plenty of homeless people out there that eat out of garbage cans. They don't have any money, but they survive. So it's like air, but it's not like air. This is a lemon ginger tea. Let me give you another thing. I stopped playing competitive chess about 10 years ago. But, I'll play online for fun. It's free, whatever. And, on this chess.com thing, they have this trophy division. And it's like the steps, to work your way up to. And there's a couple million people in this trophy thing, and you can make it to the last one, which is like a legend thing. It gets harder the further you go up. And basically where I'm at is there's the top 3 make it to this champion division. And then, out of that, one champion goes to the legend thing. And that's where I get to compete for prizes and stuff like that. So, I'm it's like a week long, it's a whole fucking week. And right now it's 3 hours left, and you need to be in the top 3 to advance, and I'm second place. So, I'm watching the other people, but I'm good luck, man. I put in a lot of time this week, a lot of time. And again, it's kind of the same premise. It's man, wasting time, this stupid online thing. What are you doing? And you know what though? It just shows if you're willing to dedicate yourself and grind something, anything that's not really destructive for, I used to think I could do that with poker. I really thought, but I'm too compulsive, the way that I am, and your genetic makeup, if that's the way you are, it can become more destructive than a possibly productive. So that's why I gave that shit up. Gambling, there's no, I don't, they don't tell you poker that how many people go broke from it. It might seem hey, you're fighting it out, you're grinding it out. Yeah, no, but you can go broke. And is it worth it? Why not try to figure out something positive. Like my friend Chris and I, we both are on the same page with this. He's a little older than me, but you know, as far as playing, we both got a lot of years of playing, and we both gave it up. And he hustles, you know, to make a little money here and there. But that little money adds up. And here, I'll tell you how it adds up. It adds up to like paying off debts, paying off credit cards, and then your credit goes up, and you have leverage, you know, to you know, possibly to find deals. And that's, you know, you can see that's how a lot of wealthy people, they use tremendous leverage, you know, to make money. You know, like a pawn shop, they make money off the interest. You know, it's not small, but small. In Yiddish, we have a saying, bissel by bissel makes a full shissel. I guess that sounds like a Snoop Dogg thing, full shissel my nissel, but basically in Yiddish, the bissel by bissel makes the full shissels, like little by little makes like a pile, you know, like eventually, and it's true, you know. So, you know, this type, we're living in a kind of like, you know, expedited life right now, fast and easy, you know, crypto, make it fast, you know, and everything. But you know what? If you can basically just learn information fast and say, hey, you know what? But I'm going to grind this thing out, and I'm going to make it the bissel by bissel. I'm going to make it little by little, but this time I'm going to have it. It's not like hoping to make it on a turn of a card, you know, the shit that I did. Um, you know, I mean, I don't rehash my some of my gambling stories, but the last time, you know, I gave up 8 months ago. My system, I was making like 2 grand a day, and then, you know, in the eighth day, Sunday, I lost 10,000 in one morning. So it just doesn't work for the guy like me. It doesn't matter. Now, if I could package and sell the system, great. You know, good luck to you. Send up, but you know what? I'm fine without it. You know, like it's just some things just don't work. You know, and so again, let's move on and talk about other things that I do that aren't lucrative, that aren't, you know, things dancing, you know, break dancing, popping, locking, all that kind of stuff. And like, you know, this place on Sunset, you know, they got this, and this DJ, he brags of his East Coast style of music, and it sucks, you know, that what he plays. I don't care for it. But it's the only place that's kind of close, and you know, I don't care. I just do my style, and you know, it's just been around the dance scene for a very, very long time, and it's never been lucrative for me. The fitness bodybuilding thing, you know, if you're like a quote unquote natural natty bodybuilder like myself, you're not going to look huge, you know, like because you're not on any PEDs or any real gear. So, you know, how's that going to be lucrative? You know, you're not in competition, anything. And, you know, this one guy, he's got a nutrition store not far from me. And, you know, he goes, I'm a pro, you know, and he has some awards and stuff, but who knows how much that guy paid, you know, to enter all those contests. I guarantee you know, he didn't make any money from that. I mean, I even, you know, before I got sick, I went into a store. I sized myself up to that guy, and I definitely held my own. You know, so he's got a store. He's got money. You know, that's. Yeah, there's this. You know, I walk to the gym, and there's this guy that I'll see at night sometimes, and he goes out there with his electric keyboard. You know, he's got a guitar. It's the same guy, and there's like nobody really there. You know, he's playing like singing or whatever, or doing the keyboard. And I'm sitting. I think maybe there's two guys. One guy's with the guitar singing sometimes, and the other guy is like just playing keyboard songs. And you know, it's like, you know, wasting your life, but it's your life to waste. You know, it is. don't complain. I heard that from this guy that was selling sunglasses years and years ago. It's like, don't complain. You know, I like listening to that Dale Carnegie. I got it confused with Andrew Carnegie. The steel creator, founder, the richest man in the world, I guess, at one point, late 1800s. But Dale Carnegie talks about, he had a book. I listened to the audiobook that was Stop Worrying. Talking all these stories and things talk about people that he met. J.C. Penney. Of course, everybody knew now it's like defunct department store chain, but we're talking like for the most of the 20th century, one of the biggest, if not the biggest at one point. And he mentioned how J.C. Penney, like him and his wife, were, selling. They had a small, tiny store of goods, and they were living up in the attic. They didn't have any chairs. They were sitting on boxes, like a table with a crate or something to eat. Talk about humble beginnings, I heard just like Amazon just bought MGM. They own, the MGM, all the movies and everything, and the catalog with James Bond and actually the Rocky franchise as well. Yes, that includes the Creed movies and the Rocky franchise. I mean, I'm going to say this, the best way I can. It seems kind of easy for what I call the heavyweights, or what used to be. Your modern guys, The Rock, Cena. All they got to do, that they got to just show up. Now, I know, they got to read the scripts and do the lines and stuff like that, but they know how to do this stuff. It's like kind of like automatic for them. They just got to show up. And like Stallone, it's really hard for me when these guys talk about Arnold, the perseverance, and they came, and everything. Well, but yeah, he came or whatever. I know the story, but once you got movie after movie after movie, that's all it is the same thing basically. How is it hard? How is that hard if you're like the star and they tell you what to do and you just execute? That's all it is. I heard the story, the fucking when you stay hungry, he talked about it, the director, and he told him, I need you under 210 pounds. I running 8-9 miles a day. I envision myself as an elite runner. I'm not this stuff. Anything, whatever. Yeah, I get the challenges in that beginning. I guess learn English and everything, but it's like I listen to like these people, and it's hard, to envision, to relate like a story of how does that apply to me? What can I get off of this? I don't relate to any of this. And that term giving up, like, I don't know. I don't feel like I ever gave up in life in anything, but you have to be given. You have to like not be given an opportunity, but you have to like see a vision of something that could happen, and things that I tried, they weren't practical. They just were. You know, you're not bankable, why would anybody bank on you? You know, it's like it's one of those things. There's so many people that try to make it as wrestlers, actors, whatever. You know, like it's not. You know. I watch it. WrestleMania 35, just that Kurt Angle's last match. Won. He wrestled some guy I never even heard of before. A guy comes out in black, you know, the fucking dress shirt and slacks. You know, what the hell is McMahon doing? You know, like, he's getting old, is what it is. You know, like he's, you know, it's very, very, very difficult to run a show like when you're old, you're gonna get like feeble, you know, like and I guarantee he's got so much, pride that he doesn't want to slowly walk away, you know, like it's a very difficult thing, you know, guy that created something, if you're still alive, you want to be involved, but you don't want to look like a dupe, you know, like Joe Weider, you know, he couldn't even walk, you know, toward the end. They reeled him in a wheelchair on stage to present the Mr. Olympia, you know, like the trophy to the winner. I mean, it's like he did it till he died, you know. And you know, like Vince McMahon, you know, I watched that thing with Kurt Angle's WrestleMania 35, and you know, it was just something is wrong with the company, you know, like there's something not right. I just noticed that after like WrestleMania 22, you know, that I was at 20, I already talked about that, and then 30, you know, to have like that was kind of cool in the beginning, but you know, since this COVID thing, like 35, it was at the MetLife, which I think is the New Jersey, it used to be the Meadowlands, and that's a big fucking stadium, you know, arena, outdoor, you know, the football. You know, it's pretty cool, like the fireworks and everything going off. But these guys, something's wrong. Like the announcers, there's no like something is missing. Like the excitement, you know, like it's not there anymore. It wasn't there. I know Kurt Angle knows it too. He knows it. That's why he did that last match to kind of just, you know, maybe get a last taste of something. You know, there's something wrong. Like I watch this stuff and I go, what is going on here? Is something wrong? I know what's wrong. I know exactly what's wrong. And it's the same thing that's wrong with sci-fi and movies, like, you know, they're going to do another Indiana Jones movie, or they're trying to wrap it. I guarantee it's, you know, Harrison Ford, they just wants one last thing, like a Kurt Angle thing. Want that one last thing, you know, because, but you know, it's like there's something wrong, you know, and Spielberg is not doing it. He's not, so whoever's in control of it. It's just like the fucking Star Wars movies. There's something wrong, and I know what's wrong. And to figure out what was wrong, you had to figure out what was right. And what was right back in '77, Lucas was young. Put that energy, your youth, and your passion when you're young to make something incredible. That's what he did. In the 1980s, Spielberg, Lucas, whatever, the Raiders of the Lost Ark, you know, the 1980, they were young. And these guys got old, is what happened. They got old. It's not their bellies got, it's a combination of factors. They got old, you know. They got their money. Same thing with the Rocky franchise. He got old. However, I will credit Stallone for the Rocky Balboa, Rocky 6. It was nice. He was able to kind of like, you know, throw it together one last time, you know, kind of walk away. The Creed movie should never have been made. It's a bad idea. But these people, they need to have money continually coming in. And, I guarantee they, it's like, all right, well, it's fine, but it does tarnish the legacy of everything. When you turn out garbage, it does. It's a bad, it does tarnish the legacy. It's like WrestleMania, like these ones, that's why they suck. So it just tarnishes, it just makes it like, okay, whatever. I remember in 1990, I know I'm jumping back and forth with things, but I'm just relating the overall topic of, what goes wrong, like why. I remember in 1990, the WrestleMania 6, the Toronto Sky Dome. I remember I was in my grandparents', I was in the bedroom. They were having coffee, whatever, in the living room, and it was on pay-per-view. My uncle was trying to get back then they had this black box, you could, the scrambler, you could, but we didn't have it, or I couldn't get it, or whatever. And I was able to get it scrambled, but I could hear the audio, and it was incredible. Hulk Hogan against the Ultimate Warrior. I remember I'm sitting there, at least I'm listening to it, and then they show that preview, with the LA Coliseum, that WrestleMania 7 was going to be there during the middle. They hype it in the middle of the WrestleMania event to let you know next year. And I was getting goosebumps. I was so excited. The LA joined over 100,000 in the Memorial Coliseum. I'm in LA. I was like, oh my God, that's before Desert Storm happened. They moved it to LA Sports Arena, which was across the street. It's not there anymore. I think it's some soccer field now. Nonsense. But ironically, that's where they filmed Rocky 1, in the LA Coliseum, not the Philadelphia Spectrum. I know my history, I know my research. There's just something about that time. There's a consciousness. There's something about the mid-70s forward. Movies like Jaws, John Williams, the music, 75. Close Encounters of the Third Kind, Star Wars, Raiders of the Lost Ark, Return of the Jedi, shows like Knight Rider. There's something about 1979, 7, Smoking the Bandit, Trans Am, Back to the Future, later the DeLorean, 84, 85, 86, the music. There's something about it. All that time. Shows like the Transformers, G.I. Joe. What happened? The creativity and everything I just mentioned. Like WrestleMania, I just said, even 1990, even in 2002. The emergence of Brock Lesnar, John Cena, the Guerrero, Benoit, Angle. What happened? It's like taking everything away, and you're not putting anything good in, to substitute, to keep it going. Bring back Goldberg. You guys 50-something years old. What the fuck are you doing? I remember in the late 80s, Axe and Smash, the Demolition, the Fabulous Rougeau brothers, the Jimmy Hart. They had all these, even whatever, primetime wrestling. I would watch on USA Network. I'd watch primetime wrestling, hosted by, remember, in the studio, and they had Gorilla Monsoon and Bobby Heenan. And then one time I remember the Roddy Piper and the whole thing with the Rick Rude. I remember all this stuff. And then they go, let's go to the thing. And you would have a jobber or whatever, some guy a real nobody, you know, Barry Horowitz, Iron Mike Sharp, whatever. And a lot of these nobodies I never heard of, and then you would have him like somebody like wrestle somebody that was like a superstar, and I'd watch. And every once in a while they bring out like Ultimate Warrior against a nobody, whatever. And then at the end of the match, they go back to the studio, commentating thing, and Gorilla Monsoon would talk about, you know, and what happened? What the fuck is going on? Like what? I know what happened. You know, it became corporate. WWE. I'm gonna sneeze. Hold on. Became corporate is what happened. And the daughter, you know, she's the heir apparent, you know, to it. She's pretty, you know. I know Stephanie McMahon, yeah, she's pretty and everything, and the Triple H. You know, he's like his passion was a business. I get it. But what's supposed to happen is supposed to be a smooth transition of father to stepson to, you know, the daughter. Then okay, like do not fuck with the legacy of this. You know, like let's not let this thing. Let's keep it running properly. And what happened, you know, if you try to make something too big, it could implode. You know, like it gets out of hand. It's stupid. You know, like it need to be downsized. So then it's fine. You know, you don't need every month a pay-per-view. Like what was wrong with 4 pay-per-views a year? What's wrong with that? It builds the hype. You know, you got this shit on television. What is this grand expand idea? Like, you know, to try to make this, you know, it's how you fuck everything up. You overshot your why. It was fine with the Survivor Series, the SummerSlam, the whatever, WrestleMania, and the fucking whatever the other one is, like Royal Rumble. You know, like that's fine. You build up to those things, and you got plenty of time to like come up with creative stories and hire creative people. But every time I hear it, like you let go, you know, women were a very small part. I remember WrestleMania 20. It was a little thing they had. It was the women's side. They would, it's a distraction, you know, to give guys a time to get ready for their matches. And now you're pushing this stupid thing. Ric Flair's daughter, or whatever, the Charlotte Flair, whatever. No one cares. She doesn't know. McMahon's daughter shouldn't be in control then. She shouldn't. It's not a woman's show. It's not. It shouldn't be. It's supposed to. You're fucking with the way it's supposed to go. You can't. You can't, like, when a train is going, you don't like maintenance it, like try to, well, the train is traveling, let's like fix everything on and try to, like, you know, upgrade it. That's what they're trying to do. You know, they have no fucking idea what they're doing. They have no idea. You let go of very talented people. There's absolutely, you have to pay them. You have to fucking pay them. It's like a baseball team. It's like a 40-man roster. And they all get paid. Yep. Or maybe for wrestling, you know. And then they need to downsize them. You just look at stupid, this Live 205, this NXT. Get rid of it all. It's unnecessary. It's stupid. This expansion of it. Why? Things, you know, just too big and a nonsense. They spread themselves too thin. They got to water it all down. And I don't even watch it. I don't even know. I don't care. somewhere after WrestleMania 22, it all started to go downhill. Somewhere. Anyway, I just, I know I talked more about that, but I cover basically non-lucrative things. I mean, what are you going to do? It's if you're happy, I watch this thing. You want to be a teacher. That's really your passion. There's not a lot of money in it. Good for you. I just, don't see myself, doing these things that require an immense amount of energy. I feel like it's too late. I'm already too old already. And when I mean too old, I mean internal. I feel it. Like I just don't have, the drive, the energy, to give anything my all anymore. That ain't gonna go anywhere. It's too late already. It really is. Anyway, not trying to be a Debbie Downer, just but I'm just trying to be honest about things. Seems like a lot of people aren't, We're all trying to compare to somebody else, and what's the point of that? What's Anyway, that's all for now. Warrior Jr. signing out.